I'm trying to catch up on some of our family's updates, and I'm behind on a lot of things that happened this summer. And now that kids are, doing school again, we're sort of back into a routine. I have a lot of time to update things. But let's start out with what happened on the 4th of July. It was really an interesting day. This is when we had to take Isabel to the emergency room. So, short story, she fell off of her bunk bed. She cut her lip, and as soon as I saw her, I immediately knew that she needed to get stitches. So that's what happened. Rewind to the day before, the last couple days. I was so proud of myself because I was working really hard to organize the downstairs, and we were redoing things. We were rearranging rooms. I don't know, that's always fun, right? When you can deep clean rooms, rearrange your furniture, have a new configuration. So we decided to give each of the boys their own room downstairs. And we have a bigger room that we decided to put all the 3 girls in there. Because honestly, when you're 5 and under, you just sleep in your room. There's not a lot going on. So we set up their room. It was really cute. We put up a bunk bed. In fact, I put up the bunk bed. I did all of this by myself. I don't know. I can't remember what. Brett was either at work or doing something else, and I really wanted to get the bunk bed done, so I just did it, which is a inherited trait of my mother. But we had the rooms all clean, and we had them on the bunk bed, and it was so nice to go to sleep to a clean house, and I'd been working all day and I was exhausted, and we finally get the kids to sleep. They just wouldn't settle down because everything was new, and exciting. They wouldn't settle down, and it was like 10:30 before we put the kids to bed, and they were still up and chattering, and I finally got to go lay down to bed, and was just relaxing for a little bit when I heard a really horrible scream. Isabel screams, she's kind of dramatic, so if she sees a spider, she screams like she's about to die. But this time it was the same scream, like I'm about to die, something's wrong, and I was so tired, so I didn't jump out of bed to check on her because I thought, oh, she saw a spider. The real indicator for me that we had a problem was when she was crying for her big brother, and when he saw her, it's like, oh my goodness, we need to go tell Mom. And I heard that. I'm like, okay, need to go downstairs right now. I ran down the stairs because I knew, oh my gosh, this isn't good. If my son was like, uh-oh, there's something wrong, we need to tell Mom, like, that's when it's bad. And it's like, oh my gosh, it just replays in my head. It was this slow-mo image of me going down the stairs and coming upon this little girl that's just standing at the bottom of the stairs. And as I'm getting closer and she's getting bigger and bigger in my line of sight, I look at her, and just right here, it's just all blood. Just her chin was just covered with blood, and I didn't even know what happened. Why was she bleeding? I don't know. I was asking her, and I got from her that she fell off of her bunk bed, and Eli was there holding her hand and helping her, and it was just really, it was so messy. I didn't know how bad the damage was. So the first thing was like, oh my gosh, I need to check to see that she didn't just bite off her tongue, because that's scary. So I checked in her mouth, but everything else was so bloody. I was thinking, okay, what do we do? Let's start cleaning this up. And then she's like, Mom, am I going to die? And that just broke my heart, because we've been talking a lot about life, the life cycle, life processes, the eventuality of death for everybody. So she was so scared. And she, I told her, no, sweetie, you're fine. We're just going to go to the doctor to get your injury fixed. And then I said, it looks like you hurt your lip really bad. We need to go. And she reached to touch up her mouth. And then I didn't realize how big the gash was, but her 2 fingers went through the hole in her lip, and I could see them coming out of the other side of her mouth, and that's when I lost it. I was just like, ah, my gosh, we need to go to the emergency, and then she started screaming, and it was kind of, it was a little ridiculous, but I got her cleaned up. I mean, by that time, my husband had heard us and ran downstairs. Everybody, calm down. Let's take this calmly. Let's blah blah blah. What do we need to do? Whatever. So we got to the hospital at 12 a.m. 4th of July, and we were there getting treated until about 3 a.m. Luckily, they were able to see us right away, but they wanted to observe her, and she had knocked out some of her teeth. I noticed when I was looking at her before, so she had knocked out one of her teeth, and her other top tooth was really, really loose and really wiggly. So I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any damage to the teeth. I had them give her head x-rays and jaw x-rays just to make sure that there was no damage there. That was, she was fine. So it was 3 hours. About $2,500, and that was a great start to our Independence Day. But after that, it was just a month-and-a-half long series of going to different appointments, going to different doctors, going to different specialists. She had to go to the dentist several times. Then we went to see the pediatrician. They referred us to a plastic surgeon. We also had to go back to the ER for follow-up care. We went back 5 days later to get her stitches removed, and that absolutely terrified her. And all around it was really rough. Yeah. We're just talking about you and your lip. We'll do another episode on just all the follow-up care that Isabel's injury required. It was probably the most gruesome accident that our family has had to date. We've had a lot of hospital time with Owen, but this was emergency, unexpected stuff. So that was different. Check out part 2 to see how her follow-up care went. She was a trooper, and I'm so proud of Isabel. She did a great job, and we got through it, and now it's just a memory that I am reliving as we edit this again. So awesome. Part 2 coming up.